Thank you. Morning. So as many of you know, I'm a huge advocate for running. I think that running is something, it's a kind of fundamental human movement that all of us should do. Whether you're interested in becoming a better runner or not is beside the point. Running is just really good for your biomechanics, it boosts your cardiovascular health, it's good for your mental health, it's just a great activity all round. But the problem is a lot of people don't like running. And I think a lot of the issues that people have with running come from the way they run. Coming outside to a trail somewhere far more scenic and interesting not only will make running much healthier for you in a number of ways that we're about to discuss, but also just make it more fun, more enjoyable, and something that you might actually want to stick to doing. So that's why I think trail running is something that everybody should at least try. And yes, I mean especially you, Billy. So let's start with the most obvious bit, shall we? What is trail running and how do you get started? Well, essentially trail running is exactly what it sounds like. It's running, but on a trail. And by trail we mean off-road, off tarmac, off pavement, whether that's a hiking trail, whether it's a cycling trail, whether it's along the beach, whether it's through the woods or through the hills. And then you're just going to run there, just like you would run anywhere else, and that's it, that's trail running. Now, of course, like I say, there are some fundamental differences when it comes to running on a trail versus the pavement, and that's why this video exists, but essentially that's all you need to know. And what you'll find instantly when you start doing this is that it's just so much more enjoyable because you have so much more interesting scenery to look at. It puts you in an even better mental state. And you know, if you're running for mental health benefits, then how better to compound on that by choosing somewhere that's truly scenic. You've got more things to look at, you can explore at the same time as running. Instead of setting a destination, just go somewhere like this, find a new trail and run on it. And that way you're kind of adventuring at the same time as running. And for me and many other people, it just makes what could otherwise be a fairly dull activity around your same block every day into something more exciting. Now, the first issue that some people are going to run into, of course, is that they don't have any suitable trails. They don't have anywhere where they think they can run. Lots of people comment on my videos saying, "You're so lucky to live in such a beautiful area, man." And yeah, of course I am. And I don't take it for granted. Oxfordshire is beautiful. I'm right near the Chilterns and the Cotswolds. And yeah, there's loads of fantastic places to come. But this isn't on my doorstep. This is Watlington Hill. You've been here with me before. It's stunning, but it's a 30-minute drive. So if I want to run here, I do need to go out my way. I've got some other places that are a bit more local, like Stoke Woods. That's a 10-minute drive, but I can even just go to a park or a big field. So the difference here is that with jogging, you can just run outside your door. With trail running, you might well need to drive to a place to do some running. But if you would drive to your gym for a workout, then driving to a beautiful spot to do some running or some hiking, it's really no different. How do you find these places? Well, there are organisations, there are hiking organisations that you can look into, find the routes that they recommend. For me personally, I just tend to Google places near me, and often if you Google one nice place to run or walk, if you find one good place, then you'll often see that it recommends other similar places nearby, so that's a great way to find them. But yeah, the only thing I would say is really fundamental to think about is your footwear. Now, you can just go out trail running in regular trainers and you'll probably be fine, but you are much more likely to sprain an ankle, to twist an ankle, to hurt yourself, because those big shoes with the big soles, they're not well designed to fit into the grooves that you're going to encounter on a trail, things like roots and divots in the ground, little ditches. Personally, and you know where I'm going with this if you watch my videos regularly, I recommend barefoot shoes. Barefoot shoes and trail running are a match made in heaven. They essentially mimic the way that you would run, you know, in nature, in the wild. And I know that that's a bit of an overdone conceit, but it is true. Your feet are these incredible feats, pardon the pun, of engineering. And when you use them properly, your toes will splay out in order to cover the most surface area and in order to fill in the gaps and contour to the ground. You have tons of proprioceptors in your feet that provide you with feedback and allow your body to tap into natural reflexes that help to stabilize you and prevent you from falling. If you want to see more on this, then check out my video on barefoot shoes, but it goes super deep. And that of course brings me to today's sponsor, which is once again Vivo Barefoot. Vivo Barefoot make, in my opinion, some of the very best barefoot shoes. Barefoot shoes in general, I'm entirely on board with. I think they're fantastic. So they're already onto a winner, but Vivo Barefoot then back this up with incredibly high quality production and a great fit, a fantastic range. I find that with a lot of shoes, when you get home after a long day, the first thing you want to do is take your shoes off. Genuinely, with Vivo Barefoot shoes, I don't feel that way. They feel like slippers and I don't particularly want to take them off. They're made in a sustainable manner too, which in my opinion is a massive bonus. And they look cool. You can wear them in a smart setting, you can wear them in the gym, you can wear them for a run. Today I'm wearing the Hydra ESC swim run shoes, which were kindly sent to me. These are perfect for trail running. They have the lugs, which are an important thing to look for in any trail running shoe because they allow you to grip onto those slippy, muddy surfaces, and at the same time they're designed to let you run easily through water, and they dry out really quickly, stay light when wet, so you can get that natural feeling but at the same time not worry about drenching your shoes. So yeah, if you want to find a good pair of shoes to get started with, then I highly recommend Vivo Barefoot. Click the link below if you're interested and use the discount code BIONEER15 to get 15% off your order. Thanks again to Vivo Barefoot for sponsoring this video, and now on with the show. Whatever the case, you want to make sure you're looking for shoes that are either waterproof or that dry quickly and won't get heavy and soggy when you run through water. At the same time, you want something with nice big lugs that are going to grip onto the ground, because sometimes trail running is going to involve running through thick mud or water, and yeah, you don't want to be slipping and sliding around all over the place. Either way, whether you go for barefoot shoes or not, I also recommend that you ease into this, because particularly in barefoot shoes, but whatever the case, you're going to find that your ankles and your feet probably aren't used to the kind of feedback you're getting from the ground. You're going to be constantly trying to balance yourself on your ankles as your feet twist and change direction. You're not just running on a flat surface, and this can come as a bit of a shock. Last year I went for a run and it was extremely icy, and I was running in these big tracks that had been left by a tractor but then frozen over, and the next day my ankles were so sore because it was like a big workout. And that was okay because it's something I was used to, but if you weren't used to this, that could easily lead to an injury that would result in some downtime for you. So yeah, you want to ease into this, and certainly always ease into the barefoot shoes as well, because that goes double when you're wearing those and you have less support. And that's the other thing to at least be aware of when it comes to trail running. You're going to be running on surfaces that make it a lot more difficult. Like I say, if you're running in a load of mud, your feet are going to be slipping and sliding everywhere. You're going to have to concentrate much more on what you're doing, and of course it's going to slow you down and be more of a workout. And so of course, if you're someone who runs regularly and you're used to running at a certain pace, this can come as a bit of a shock as you find you're much slower and you're not able to get your usual times. That's normal, because this isn't just running in a straight line on a flat surface. You're working much harder, and you can't even compare your time on one trail run to your time on another trail run necessarily, for the same reason, because if one's got a lot more elevation or if one's a lot slippier, then you're obviously going to be slower versus one that's a bit calmer and easier. So yeah, don't be too wed to going fast. And that's actually one of the things I like about trail running, because it forces you to forget running for numbers and to instead enjoy the process of running and the health benefits that come from running whatever the speed and whatever the case. So you can this way just much more relax, let go, and just enjoy the feeling of running and exploring your environment. And what I also like to do when I'm trail running is to stop, to balance on logs, to do pull-ups on trees, to do dive rolls, to do handstands, or whatever else. And that's again one of the great things about running in the woods, because you can't really do all those things in the town or the city where you live, because you'll probably get run over, and as I've discussed in a recent short, you do get some strange looks. And I love as well always to run without necessarily having a set destination in mind. I love to just pick a spot, go for a run, because that way I get to explore somewhere new and find something new. I discover new things about where I live, I discover new cool places to visit, and it's just much more enriching and exciting and interesting. And to me, it's a bit like playing an open world computer game. It's a bit like playing Sonic Frontiers, but in real life. You know, you have adventure and excitement and discovery, not just the same bland, boring route going past that you see every day on your way to work anyways. But I'm probably most interested in the benefits it can offer for things like general performance and the way that you move and run and jump. You need to really focus on your proprioception. You need to constantly adjust your balance and your angle. And yeah, it just makes sense. If you're constantly adjusting your feet angles to different surfaces, you can get better at doing that, and the chances of you slipping over when you're running outside are going to be minimized. Your chances of being able to create a stable, grounded base when you're pushing something or lifting something or wrestling with someone or throwing a kick are going to be greatly enhanced. Viewers will know that I'm a big fan of the work of Nicola Bernstein. I love the idea of repetition without repetition. That means performing the same movement but in different situations. So in this case, we're running, but not just on the same flat ground, we're running on lots of different surfaces. And this can help us to build more robust movement patterns so that we have more solutions to draw from. Otherwise, you're going to get really good at doing the thing you do in the nice sterile setting of the gym or the pavement. But when you take that into a more unpredictable and chaotic environment, you're not going to be ready for it. And I think one of the best ways to keep improving at anything is to keep providing the body with novel stimuli so that it's constantly adapting, constantly learning, and you're ready, therefore, for more scenarios. And of course, when you're trail running, you're going uphill more often, downhill more often, you're running through thicker surfaces. That simply means you're going to be using more muscle power. You're even going to be improving your mobility. Running uphill, for example, requires a certain amount of dorsiflexion. You're going to be taking your calves through a greater range of motion. You'll even be engaging smaller muscles that play important roles, like the tibialis anterior as you're running up and down hill. You'll be moving in the frontal plane as you move side to side around obstacles, around ditches, etc., and trees, something that is very much missing from a lot of our training because we just tend to run forwards, especially if you always run on a treadmill. For all these reasons, you're just building a far more dynamic, powerful and performant body when you run in unpredictable situations. And the fact that it happens to be so much more fun, so much more interesting, I think everybody should try trail running. So what do you guys think? Am I overhyping the benefits of trail running, or is this something that you guys do as well, that you recommend and enjoy? Is it something you're going to start doing now? And what kind of spots do you enjoy trail running in? If you enjoy this kind of training that looks outside the box and considers different aspects of human performance beyond just the basics of cardio, weight loss and some strength gains on certain lifts, then you might enjoy my ebook and training program, Super Functional Training 2.0, the Protein Performance System. That comes with an 80+ page ebook and over 2 hours of instructional video. If that sounds interesting, then there's a link in the description down below. Either way, thank you so much for watching this one, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.